Hey, welcome back to another edition of Family Ministry Podcast. We're glad that you're joining us again. I believe we're like on week 6, 7 of this thing.
Something.
We are somewhere deep into it. And so if you've been with us for all these weeks, we really appreciate that. Subscribe, take time to maybe share this thing a little bit. But today what we have for you, not so much talking about marriage as we had the last few weeks. Today we're going to be talking about something you can do, family ministry with your family in your neighborhood or in your community during this pandemic. And so we've got a few ways, and the avenues for these things are for sharing the gospel, but also maybe even if you can't share the gospel right now, maybe even it's just getting connected with your neighbors, learning who they are, learning their names, and it's going to create avenues for future opportunities to share the gospel and create pathways for your one, or maybe they become your one, to come to Pine Terrace or another church to hear the gospel or the gospel that you share with them. So let's just jump right into this. What's the first one that we have?
Well, the first one is rally your block or street around a way that you can care for first responders. So in your neighborhood, find out who the first responders are, or medical staff, nurses, LPNs, certified techs, whoever they are. Find ways that you can minister to them. It may be that you drop off notes of encouragement, or drop off a bag of candy, or Krispy Kreme donut. I'm joking. Anyway, just ways that you can love on them in this time and send them words of encouragement. So that's one way. What's another way?
Maybe just simple on that is even taking your lawnmower down to their house.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these guys are working extra shifts, and so when they do come home, they don't have a lot of time for family because they got to take care of normal things. So maybe it's just some things like that.
Taking them a meal.
Taking them a meal.
For
family.
Or gift cards or something like that to some of these places
Absolutely.
if they're out and about. So that's a good idea.
What's our next one?
The next one is putting chalk art on your sidewalk or maybe your driveway. Well, this is a great way to get your kids involved in doing something for your neighborhood. Just let them go out there, and I mean, who doesn't like to take a walk and see something really colorful out in somebody's front yard? Let your kids have fun and just put notes of encouragement to your neighbors as they're walking by. You could even leave a little, chalk is like cheap. It's like dirt cheap, right? So you could even leave a little box of chalk out there and encourage your neighbors to write something on your driveway, or maybe get the kids to take a walk with you and go leave some encouraging little messages on someone else's. It washes off pretty easy. So
You definitely want to know them first.
You probably want to know them just to be sure.
Just a little bit. But
that's a really cute and neat idea, especially for the kids.
Go ahead and share the next one with us, Shelley.
Blessing bags. Putting together blessing bags for your neighbors and those kinds of things. It kind of goes along with what you were talking about to begin with. But, you could put a roll of toilet paper in a blessing bag right now, or maybe even some little books of some sort. If you know a family that might have some kids at home, or something like that. Germ eggs.
We also have some life books up here that you can come and grab and put in those bags.
And if you're not sure what a life book is, it's just one of the Gospels. I think right now with the Gospel of Mark, and it's just a little book. They'll be out in the atrium. If you want to pick up as many as you want, we have a ton of them.
Yeah.
And the next one's one of my favorites, prayer walking. It's something that I'm seeing a lot of families do. They're walking together after dinner or something like that. They're walking their neighborhood. Why don't you use that time strategically praying for the homes that are in your neighborhood? And when you're walking through your neighborhood and you're looking at the houses, think about the children that live there. Think about maybe the widow or the widower, or maybe it's a single mom or a single family or some sort of that. Pray specifics for that. If you see a Tonka truck in the front yard, most likely there's a child there. And so pray for them and pray specifically for that, and pray for their family life, pray for their home, pray for their work, pray for all the different things that they're going through the children doing school, e-school, e-learning, and those kind of things. So prayer walking is a huge thing. So what else we got, Shelley?
Being present in your front yard. I know a lot of us have the whole backyard set up for different things, but why not take your grill to the front yard and maybe cook out in the front, or bring your lawn chairs out there? Because there's something about cooking and getting together. If people see you bring your lawn chairs out, it kind of makes them want to gather a little bit, at a safe distance. But that's a great way to kind of get your neighbors to come out and enjoy, just being able to talk to someone and see people at a distance, but to create some relationships that way. It's just when people walk by and they see you out, they want to be out too. So that's another good idea.
That's awesome. The next one to talk about is like a social distancing coffee. And one of the neat things is right now, I have a neighbor across my street. He has this huge gazebo. And so every morning when I pull out about 7 o'clock, come to the church office, he's sitting in his gazebo, reading the paper and drinking coffee. Right. And so that may be a way of just talking to your neighbor from the street, or whatever, spending time with folks. Just like Shelly was talking about, sitting in a chair or whatever, but make a point of maybe a few of your neighbors that are around you. Say, hey guys, at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning or at 7 o'clock on Friday evening as the sun is setting, we're going to be out in our front yard and we're going to have sweet tea and some refreshments or something like that, but you're social distancing. That's still, right. But just having that community and sharing with them and tell them why you're doing it. And get to know your neighbor. I couldn't think of a better way to be able to get to know your neighbor.
And as we've gone through these 6 things, the commonality here is getting to know your neighbors, right. Getting to know the people around you, and doing it through your family. Whenever we do mission projects and different things, one thing we always notice is that families who have kids with them always get to know the people around them better, because there's just something about children. Children will break down walls of awkwardness. They'll break down walls and barriers that sometimes adults can't, because we place those artificial structures around us. And so use this time. Neighborhoods are full of people right now outside. They're getting their exercise. They're doing things they've never done in years. And so let's make the most of this time for the gospel. Maybe there's some ideas that you have for your family that, like Justin said, you want to do some of these things. We're cooking or doing some things, and you could use a little bit of money to do that project, or some supplies like the life books, or maybe different things that Shelly and I and Justin can walk beside you with. If you've got some projects in mind that you want to do, just hit us up. You can leave a comment on here, or better yet, go to our website, go to the Pastoral Ministries page, and just drop a note in there, and I'll put the link right under this. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, share this video, and maybe, hey, in the comments, add your way that you've been ministering, and maybe some ways that we can encourage others, or maybe something that you've thought about as you've gone through this video. And we'd love to hear from you. Can't wait to be back together in person to worship and praying for you.
Have a great day.
Bye.